Gaming motivation is a way for you to figure out if some of the best rated games out there are a good fit for you. This is done by rating a game based on the 6 main motivators as determined by Quantic Foundry, and if you want to know what your motivations are, there's a link in the description where you can test yourself. Today we have Deep Rock Galactic, a game where you play as a dwarf who spends half their time mining, half their time shooting hordes of bugs, and the entire time drinking. Let's get right into it. As a horde shooter, the game leans heavily into the action aspect of gaming. There are 24 different weapons you can use, each with their own different sets of upgrades and special overclocks that can drastically change the way you play. One mission you could use a smart rifle that automatically targets enemies from far away, and the next you could get up close and personal with the freeze gun to instantly explode them. Each gun is viable in its own way, and you are sure to find a combination that works for you. As for the enemies, there's enough variety to stop the game from feeling stale. There's even a couple of mini-bosses that can randomly spawn on each of the levels, and they all have different strategies, like the Corlock Tyrant Weed, where you have to defeat some of the vines in order to attack the heart. You also have the glyphid Crassus Detonator, where you just have to run away and pray that he doesn't explode in your face.
Phrasing?
And if that's not enough for you, you can turn the difficulty all the way up to 5 and just get absolutely demolished by bugs. If you're motivated by action games, I would recommend choosing the Gunner. Running around killing everything with a machine gun is a ton of fun, and you're a necessity on elimination missions where you have to take down some of the most powerful bugs in the game. I give the action a 5 out of 5. Deep Rock Galactic is a game that thrives on its community both inside and outside of the game. This is one of the first communities I've seen that are extremely welcoming to newcomers, which is always nice. As for the developers themselves, they obviously care very much about their fans. For example, in Season 4, the developers showcased some DLC with exclusive weapon and armor skins that the player could buy. When most players didn't like the skins, the developers decided to tweak the skins according to user feedback and included the old ones in the game for free in the Performance Pass, which think of a battle pass, but 100% free. Inside the game, it's extremely easy to find and join lobbies online with other players, no matter how far they are in a mission. If you're like me and you don't have any friends, the game provides you with one in the form of Bosco. This drone acts like a sort of AI teammate where you have complete control over their actions, and although it's nice, it doesn't really substitute for a real player. If you're looking for equal parts competition and community, I give this game a 2 or a 3 out of 5, but if you prefer a strong community, I give this game a 5 out of 5. Someone motivated by mastery enjoys games that either rely heavily on skill or ability, or games that require careful decision-making and planning. Deep Rock Galactic doesn't really do either of these things. Sure, there are extra modifiers for each mission that can add a certain challenge, like the Lithophage Outbreak modifier that adds these infected areas that you need to disinfect and clean up. You can also find different ways to make challenges for yourself. For example, the game includes a beer that completely randomizes your weapons and upgrades, so you might have to use a familiar weapon in a new way. But if you are solely motivated by the idea of mastering a game, then I would suggest you look elsewhere. I give the mastery a 1 out of 5. Deep Rock Galactic has a surprising amount of content that could easily take someone hundreds, if not thousands of hours to complete. There are tons of milestones that are unlocked by doing pretty much any task in the game, which in turn gives you points. You can spend these points to unlock a ton of different perks. Each weapon has different tiers of unlocking different armor and paint jobs depending on how many skills you unlock within them. There are different overclocks that you can build to change how each of your guns work, and as for cosmetics, there are tons of ways to unlock more. There's a completely free performance pass that gives you access to new cosmetics. You buy some of them in the shop with credits that you earn in game, or you can even find some of them out in the field if you find these special objectives. There are also a ton of achievements to earn and even some hidden ones that were a lot of fun to figure out, except for the roller coaster achievement. That one sucked. I give achievement a 5 out of 5. On the one hand, Deep Rock Galactic is a very well done fantasy game. You have tons of different ways to customize each dwarf and pickaxe so you can look exactly how you want. As for the world itself, there are several different environments that all look and feel vastly different from one another with their own benefits and hazards. There's a lot to explore and find on each map aside from the main objectives, like hacking and disabling antenna nodes before they self-destruct. If you love the immersion of worlds and exploring them, then I would recommend playing the Scout. The ability to light up each environment and quickly grapple between areas means that you can explore the entire cave in no time. I usually enjoy playing the Scout on alien egg missions, but you can pretty much do most of them save for the more combat-intensive ones. At the same time, there isn't much story here. What you see is what you get. If you don't need a story to be immersed, then you might love Deep Rock Galactic, but as a whole, I would personally give the Immersion a 2 out of 5. Much like Mastery, Deep Rock Galactic isn't really made for being creative. There isn't much to really discover about the game, and when it comes to design, you aren't playing to shape this world, you're playing to survive in it. If you really are focused on being creative, then I would recommend either the Driller or the Engineer depending on your playstyle. In missions like Refining Morkite, you need to place a series of pipes from point A to point B. The Driller might be helpful here since there are a lot of restrictions to building the pipeline, and you need to be creative on how to do it. For some, it's just easier to drill through a mountain. As for the Engineer, he's best on missions like Escort Duty, where you use a drill dozer to drill through multiple rooms in order to reach a core. Since you have sentry turrets, it's fun trying to find new and interesting ways to place them while they still protect the drill dozer from all the bugs. In either case, the amount of creativity is rather limited, and for that I give it a 1 out of 5. As someone who loves Deep Rock Galactic and spent way more time playing it than I should, I do recommend the game to anyone who seems interested. If you're someone that loves the idea of shooting down hordes of bugs, a strong and welcoming community and dev team, and a feeling of accomplishment from all the various achievements, then this is the game for you. If you're someone who wants to master a game and all of its mechanics, or you want to be creative in the world, then I wouldn't recommend this game. And if you're someone who prefers to immerse themselves into a new world and environment, then I wouldn't exactly recommend the game, but you can still have a lot of fun here. Anyway, I hope to see you all next week. And remember, rock and stone.